What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you, well, with another market watch today. Before I begin market watch, I want to say, Smart TCG has sold out of all the field centers. The Crush Card Field Center, the Kagari, the limited edition Kyber Field Center, and I'm going to have a video coming up later on today talking about their newest field center. If you want to get a sneak preview of that, all you got to do is go to my Facebook page, or you go over here to my Instagram, and you can get a video of an action. They have a brand new Zeus Field Center that is going to be coming out today, and you can see it over here. Once again, you can program it to open any app. I have it over here programming to open up the calculator app, obviously. And if you want to get your hands on one, you might want to hurry up because there's only going to be 250 of these available. All the other field centers have been sold out, and more than likely this will sell out as well. These are numbered and certified, so you guarantee that you're getting a real deal. These are hard field centers. These things are amazing, and of course you could double sleeve them. And of course you can see over here in the video, they do work when double sleeved. I mean, double sleeved right now, boom, calculator pops right up there. You can also program it to work with Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron as well. I have a video coming. I have a video out already showing that. All right. Let's go right into the market watch. When I mean market watch, I mean Despias. I promise this will probably, maybe, potentially be my last Despia market watch in a while. I'm waiting for Despias. I've been practicing the deck for about a year. If anyone doesn't know, I've been playing Shadows forever, and Despias is looking to be just a better version of Shadows. The next evolution of Shadows is Despia. A little fun fact, you can bring out Winda with Despias. You can actually cheat it out, but nevertheless, like, your opponent's supposed something one time, pretty good in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! From what I've been told. Alright. Looking at the price of Albas, the Jester of Despia, yeah, it's a lot. This card right now is roughly almost near $140 a copy. In fact, I would say $140 a copy for each Albas. But V, is it going to get reprinted? Sure, maybe. After Nationals, if we're lucky. Looking at Albas, the Despia, this is a card that's ultimately going to be used as a 2 of, but when the Albas Strike first comes out, it will be a 3 of. Look at the rest of the Despia cards. They're all expensive. Dramaturge Despia is $7. Despia and Quietus is roughly around $7. These are 1-ofs. You got other cards over here. I believe the card that's bring out Despia's branded opening. That's roughly, okay, it was looking like it was going down. Okay, yeah, it's roughly around like $6. Top Deck TCG has around a bunch of them for $5.50. This is a 3 of, no doubt in my mind. This card's insane. So if you are looking for Despias, you're gonna be paying primo dollar, especially if you're getting involved in them right now. Guardian Chimera at one point was roughly around, I believe, $18, if I'm mistaken, maybe $16. This card at Battle Cast right now, Secret Rare, is roughly around almost near $40 a copy. Now, you're going to need 2 of these, 100%. This is how you kill. Despia is a deck that does not need Phoenix Enforcer. I'll talk about that when I look at Phoenix Enforcer, because the prices are going to reflect that. In fact, Guardian Chimera right now is worth more than Illusion of Chaos, which I would argue is probably right now the best card out of Battles of Chaos for the current meta. The meta will shift once we see Albas Strike come out on the 13th at your local OTS store, or the 15th anywhere else. Looking at Illusion of Chaos out of Battle of Chaos, this card right now is $43. Bunch of unverifiable sales, obviously, but $43 right now. I do see Guardian Chimera being worth more than this. All right. Forbidden Droplet is going to, in my opinion, rotate out of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the reason why I say that is, and by the way, the market's showing it to back me up. I mean, the card price point at max was $120. You see over here $93. Why is it going so cheaply? Well, simple. Forbidden Droplet is a phenomenal card used in the beginning of this format when players want to stop Artifact Scythe. Being the fact that a lot of decks are going to be able to play around Artifact Scythe, let's see, what decks play around Artifact Scythe that would be good, really good in about 2 weeks? Pranktops, Sky Strikers, Flunderies, and of course, Albas. So we have 4 decks that if you scythe them, they go, that's fine, I don't want to play my turn anyway. We'll play on your turn. That's what these decks, that's what they do, Yug. But looking at Flunderies, they don't give you scythe them. They're like, alright, nice card, I guess. And then they just kill you. Like, it doesn't matter. So, I think Forbidden Droplet is slowly falling out of favor within a lot of players. It more than likely will start making its way into the side deck. Even though it's a phenomenal card, it's an expensive card. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Players know, sell expensive cards right now, so you can make way for the new stuff coming out. And I think with Albas, it's going to change the mentality for a lot of players. Rise Star Dragoon also is rising in value. If you look over here, it went as low as $345 a copy. The current price point of the card is roughly around $500. Why? Because you could bring out, or should I really say cheat out, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon with Albas. You can do that as well. You can do Winda or Dragoon with Albas. And it's crazy, especially when you think about all the plays you can do. And I have some videos coming out soon. I made an April Fool's video, and like it just went over ahead of like 100 people, and no one got it. Anyway, but Red Eye Dragoon is definitely a really good card, and I do think this card is going to be a card a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to be using, especially since a lot of other plays in the meta have a huge issue getting around Dark Dragoon. If your deck has a problem against Dragoon, you're going to want to put cards in to stop that. One of the best cards is Triple Attack's Talents, because the minute they negate, you go, cool, give me Dragoon, and then you have it, a 4,000 monster that you can just, you know, play Yu-Gi-Oh with. Pretty good. Once again, like I said, Winda's a card that also can be cheated out with Albas. I've tested Dragoon out a lot. I personally am going to be probably gravitating towards the Winda play. But comment down below, let me know what you think about what you feel is the best variation of Albas. There's so many builds out there right now of what's going to be the new meta deck of the format. The new BDIF, best deck in format. And I think, Winda is going to be used, in my opinion, in a lot of top tier decks. If I go full combo and end with a Winda, what are you going to do? Exactly. I think this is a phenomenal card, and a lot of players will start gravitating to cards like this, as well as other cards. So when I say Albas Shadows, I really mean Albas featuring a Winda that they can easily bring out. You're going to want to get your hands on Pot of Prosperity. Now, in the OCG, they are running 2 of these. Here in TCG, people probably will run 3. I personally don't like running 3 of these. I've been testing 3 a lot, and I don't know. I just keep opening 2 of these. To me, it's a -1. I'd rather only play with 2. Let me know what you think about that, though. But if you want to get Pot of Prosperity, the value of this card is roughly around $127. Noted, you do not need this card, but if you do have this card, it changes the way you build your deck. So keep an eye on that. Dynamite of Pranktops is not seeing much play right now. In fact, look at the market price of this card. At peak 150, it's down to, well, it's down to roughly around $125 for Dynamite of Pranktops. Why is it down so much? Well, simple. Your opponent has DPE, Pranktops isn't as good. In a format where DPE never existed, Pranktops saw play as your side deck staple. No doubt in my mind. But it's not seeing play right now. I personally think Pranktops is a phenomenal card that will start seeing play for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh plays, especially ones that aren't going to be running DPE. They're going to run around put Pranktops in their side deck if they definitely have a main deck answer for DPE. Good example, Shadows. A lot of Shadows lists still sporadically run Pranktops. Why? Simple. Because they can easily get rid of DPE. It's nothing. And Pranktops against a lot of other decks in the meta is a great one-for-one exchange, which a lot of players, especially players like, I would argue, strikers, don't mind doing a one-for-one exchange if they can land a Ray on board and start doing a lot of crazy plays. So I think Pranktops is going to see play. CR, yes, is the highest. It does come secret rare. It does have a bunch of other printings, including common, but the highest version is right now 125. And to be honest with you, it's probably going to start rising in the market. All right. Strikers is something I talk about all the time. I think Strikers is one of the best decks for a lot of players that don't want to spend a lot of money. Unless you want to buy Max Rated Strikers, ignore everything I just said, you're going to be spending a lot of money. But if you don't want to buy Max Rated Strikers, there's still value you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge the fact that Widow Anchor is roughly around $10. You're going to need a playset. Shizuku, she's roughly around $10. You're going to need a playset. The rest of the deck core isn't as expensive, but those are. Afterburners, some people like to play 2. I mostly play 1. I know a lot of players that play 1. Majority profiles are playing 1. That's $13. And of course, your engages, which are dirt cheap. They go as low as $3. Once again, Strikers is definitely a deck core a lot of players don't need to spend a lot of money on to get a lot of great results. In fact, I saw this past weekend or last weekend, a Striker player who didn't even run DPE, he didn't run Adventures, all he did was run Cosmic Cyclone and Mystic Mine. The idea is simple. Cosmic Cyclone, Draco back, Mystic Mine. Think about your deck right now. If that was to happen to you, would you have the answer to Mystic Mine? A lot of people are probably going, well, V, I'll have it main phase, you know, in game 2, game 1, whatever they get to have. Cool. You just gave a game away to Strikers. Think about that. A deck that wants to lock you down, you gave them a free game. And if you give a game away to a deck that wants to lock you down, there's a problem. And I think Strikers have inherently a great way of dealing with those kind of decks, where they'll get a free game 1, their sides will be dirty, and they'll go in and take you out, running other floodgates like they're going to be 1, obviously still keeping a lot of cards to stop you, and then maybe they might even side things like Solemn Judgments. Just know, because they have so much time on their hand, they can light you up. So I think Strikers is another deck a lot of players need to respect, and as time goes on, especially with new support, they will. Fusion Destiny is hilarious to me. This card when it first came out was roughly around $200. You can see right there, $200, Fusion Destiny. Looking at Fusion Destiny right now, it is $90, well technically, I mean it's an $80 one, but it's $95. I expect this card to go on to $80, and the reason why is because one of the best decks in the meta, Albas, doesn't play this. But V, my Albas deck does. Okay, your Albas deck is trash. I'm sorry, like, can we just, whatever? Can I just, really? Like, if you're running Fusion Destiny and Albas deck post-Albas Strike, just know you're playing a crappy build. And what I mean by that is, you don't have the room to run Fusion Destiny in your deck. You just don't have the room. The luxury of room is not awarded to anybody running a Phoenix Enforcer and Albas in their deck. It's just not going to happen. A lot of decks can run this, and don't get me wrong, they will, but Albas decks do not have room for Fusion Destiny. It just doesn't make any sense. Look at this here, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. It is starting to go down in value a little bit, but that's to say it did have run off from $78 to roughly around $100. So, I mean, you know, it's roughly around, I mean, almost back to 100, by the way. This card's amazing. It's a one-ups, though, but it's still an amazing card. And I do think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players will still be running DPE. It's a great card. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying Albas players will not need to run this card. And more than likely, you will be seeing this card being thrown in the market by those players that are confident playing that deck for a good amount of time. Then we have Dimension Barrier. Hey, you want to kill Albas? You're sick and tired of me saying Albas? Just run D-Barrier. It is as low, by the way, it comes in the Albas Strike structure deck, which is hilarious. You know, like, here's Superman, and here's the Kryptonite to beat him. You can get comments for a little 35 cents. If you want an original print Invasion Vengeance version of Dimension Barrier, first edition version of the card, you're looking to pay roughly around, let's see, about $14-15 in case you want the original print Secret Rare. It's kind of expensive, but then again, this card's insane. Now, it's not going to kill Albas, but it'll definitely hurt them, and that's what a lot of decks need in this new meta. Like, you're not going to be able to kill this deck, but you can stun it for one turn, and hopefully that turn will buy you some time to create a board to kill them. That's the mentality when you're running D-Barrier. So, I think it's a great card. I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are going to want to be running this card, and rightfully so. Abyssal is another phenomenal card. Now, it has a bunch of printings, but if you want an Ultimate Rare version of Abyssal out of OTS Pack 13, it's roughly around $57. Now, I'll tell you the truth, if I wasn't running Albas and I could run another level 4 dot deck that can consistently make level 4s, I would snap throw Abyssal in. Once again, you're not going to kill Albas, but you're going to stun him, and that's what you need to do as much as possible. Spear Mode's another great card against Albas. It's probably great against a lot of decks in meta, not ever thinking about it. But specifically Albas, especially the Adventure Variation, which is going to be the most popular build, you're going to want to Spear Mode them. Seriously. Spear Mode's as Circuit Break Super Rare is roughly around $850. It can go really high in value for either Ultra Rare. They both look the same to me. I personally have Dual Power. I don't expect to upgrade a Battle City because even though I like the highest rarity, it's the same card. It's the same card. Text is a little bit shorter, by the way, on Dual Power, so even better. Anyway. Looking at Wing Dragon Raw Spear Mode, it's a great card, and it's a card, yes, you're going to have to give away a summon, but you're going to be able to clear a board, and depending how you look at it is depending how you can approach that game state, so, once again, it's up to you. Alright, Token Collector is another good card that you might want to need. Yes, there's still going to be Sorto.deck, 60 card base, whatever you want to call it, decks running around. They will be around. And one of the best ways to beat them is Token Collector. Drop this card on board, and then you can continue your combo and kill your opponent. Like, this card's insane, and pretty much, you know, like, really bends the scales of Albas versus that matchup. The fact that this deck can run Token Collector and not really care about his Adventure package. It's needed, sure, but not needed 100%. And I think that gives a huge advantage to Albas. Comment down below and let me know what you think about this. All right. In the beginning of the Albas format, should we call it, I think Super Poly Musician is going to be one of the best cards. I think eventually it'll fade away to the side deck, and maybe not even make its way then. With that said, Super Poly is probably going to be one of the most used cards in Albas Strike. I'm also predicting the fact that this card's good when using Prank Kids, because this card's insane. Good against a Prank Kid matchup, and Prank Kids players, all they gotta do is play a Starting Venom Fusion Dragon, and this card's live against Albas. It's actually really good. Super Poly Musician out of OTS Tournament Pack 14 has spiked in value with its previous $100 price point. You can see it over here, being roughly around $150 copy. Do you have yours? Now, you don't need Ultima Rares. Obviously, there's a bunch of other printings. Mine is Gold. Gold's disgusting. But you get as low as $3. So, yeah, pretty good. I mean, once again, not bad. Really good card. All right. Uh, Looking at OTS Starter Pack 15, right now Crystalline Needlefiber is insanely expensive, but the price you can see over here is dropping. Why is it dropping? I mean, it was roughly around 154, right? Looking over here, you can see the price is dropping even more, actually. It's roughly around 125. Why is Needlefiber going down? You want to look at the Ultra Rare version? Sure, Ultra Rare version of Needlefiber, it's almost the same. It had a crazy price point of $85 a copy, and now Ultra Rare Needlefiber is roughly around $65 a copy. Once again, why is it dropping? Because players playing Needlefiber.deck have two massive worries. Worry number one, the Banlists are coming, and them cheeks are on the line. Worry number two, players playing Needlefiber know when they play against Albas, maybe they'll have a good game one, maybe their game twos are going to be terrible, and there's not really much they can do about it. So I think players that are running Needlefiber.decks have a huge worry on their head, and rightfully so. They have to adapt to the new meta, which is happening for a lot of players in less than 9 days for OTS stores, or everywhere else on the 15th, which is 11 days. So what we have here is from time recording this video, it's fast forward everything a day, because I know the time. Anyway, what we have here is a massive issue for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players that are running Needlefiber.decks. Don't get me wrong, they're insane, they're broken, and you can easily go into it. And that's more of a reason why the bans will probably hurt you. Now, I don't think this card should be hitting the ban list. I think we have a lot of other issues like Artifact Scythe, Mystic Mind, but that's just me. Moving forward, I do think Needlefiber ultimately will be hitting the balance one day. The card is just too good. It came out of that very fun set called Dual Overlord. Dual Overlord that had like Celine, which is now $30. Ferdinand Conde, that card's fair. I see no reason why they hit that card. Limited, fine. But other than that, why not? Macafanafi Saurodon, Artifact Dagda, that brought a lot of fun into this game. It just had a lot of ban, Union Carrier. That card was around for about an hour before it was banned. Dual Power, like anything Exceed in Dual Power, which is insanely broken. Samorg, that card's fair. Anyway, I'm done. I want to punch my computer screen. Look at this set. Listen, I just want to say Dual Power was a very fair set. And I also want to say the fact that, once again, if you are a player that plays a deck that runs Needlefiber, primarily to do your full combo, just know, Needlefiber or Auroradon, these cards' heads are on the chopping block. If you say no, you are in the hardest denial I've ever had. I had Yu-Gi-Oh players say no about, other cards. I remember Union Carrier, they were saying no about Dagda. Oh, they won't hit Dagda. Dagda's probably going to get hit too, let's be honest. What was the big one? Oh, Samorg. Samorg was when I was, yelling at my computer screen, going, Samorg's going to get hit. And players were like, no, don't hit Samorg. What's the matter with you? Do me a favor. Don't ever talk about the ban list to me because you have no idea what you're talking about if you think Samorg didn't need to be hit. A card that brought out a free, I'm going to negate. Well, V, hold on a second. We have Adventurous. Yeah, but that's new. Konami's selling us cards. Samorg's been out for a while. You're right. Do you think they're going to reprint the card in what? Ultra rarity? Ulti Samorg? We stick the needle in? No. This card's ridiculous. Anyway, I do think the meta is definitely changing. I think, obviously, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to be looking at this meta and wondering, what are they going to be playing? And what you're currently playing is, do you have an answer to Albas? Do you know what they do? If you don't, you are at a massive disadvantage. Albas is a massive problem for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players, and for those that don't know what the deck does, has to learn what it does. And our videos coming out, we're gonna walk through everything. I have a bunch of ideas for a lot of great Albas deck profiles. Hopefully I can start streaming again. I really do miss streaming. I love hanging out with everybody streaming. Albas is my baby. I've been practicing this deck for about a year. I've been playing, obviously I'm a big fan of Shadows, and Albas to me is just a better, more consistent version of Shadows that does not need to run random Shadow cards to really get the engine really cracking. Some cards, but not a lot of cards. And if you're looking to play Albas and you still like Shadows, I have a list for you. Is there going to be a cheaper version of Albas? Probably not. And the only reason I can't guarantee a cheaper version of Albas, because no matter what build you run, you need Aluber. And this card is a ridiculous amount of money. Chill. But I will say, Albas will eventually go to 2, and if it does, the value will go down. Albas is going to get a reprint, and eventually the value will go down, so no matter what way you look at it, the value will go down. I bought into Despias, I bought into Albas, I bought into all this stuff, and I made videos about this a long time ago when Dawn of Mastery first came out, and everyone called it Dawn of Travesty. I said, it's not. We have Albas, it's not Dawn of Travesty. I have the videos, and I have the live streams, and like I said, I'm looking forward to creating more content showing you this deck, because I really do think this deck is not only one of the best decks in the format, but this is one of those decks like Shadows that rewards a good play for playing good Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of decks don't do that. And you might go, wait a minute, V, my prank rewards you for playing good Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, it does? It does? You summon one Prankin monster, you go full combo. The combo's so automated right now. I can literally teach my dog how to do the full combo, and my dog will get tired of it and want to play a different deck. Like, it's boring. And I'm not trying to crap on Prank Kids. I love the deck. I have the deck max rarity in Italian. I love Prank Kids. But to say Prank Kids rewards skillful players a lie. It's not like Albas, not like Despia's. This deck rewards a good player for playing good Yu-Gi-Oh! Just like Shadow's did. If you make a mistake and you lose, the deck will show you your problems, just like Shadow does. This is a better version of Dolls, and I think anyone who loves Dolls like I do definitely want to give this a run, if you have the finances, of course, but want to give this deck to run because this is a great deck that a lot of players are going to either get good with, become better. If you allow yourself to become a better player, a deck like Shadows will teach you how to become a good player. Same thing with Despia. If you allow yourself to become a good player and say, what could I have done to make better plays? This is the kind of deck that teaches you as you play either at a starter level in the game or at a high level. This deck is going to make you a better player. Not a lot of decks can do that. Once again, if you're playing Prank Kids, what could I have done differently? Oh, yeah, summon the Prankin monster. Like, it's not going to teach you. It's not a bad deck. It's one of the best decks in the game, but let's be honest, this deck teaches you, that deck doesn't. This deck will make you a better player. That deck shows you one line that you just maintain all the time, over and over and over again. Bring out the big guy and nuke the board. That's what that deck does. I'm not crapping on it. I love that, by the way. I love Prank Kids a lot. But this deck is something unique. It's a mid-range deck that's going to force the entire meta, just by it existing, to go to mid-range, number one. Number two, it's going to teach you to become a better player. And number three, if you play really good, it's going to give you a lot of prize support. It's going to give you a lot of wins. And it's going to give you a lot of salty players, your locals, complaining, saying, you don't have another deck to play? Why? Why would I enter a knife fight when I have a bazooka? Not my fault that you're weak. Whap. That's what this deck does. And this is why it's one of my favorite decks. Like I said, fusion decks are really fun, really exciting, and I do think a lot of players are going to enjoy this format. And a lot of players are going to be wanting this deck banned, rightfully so. I also want to say Imperium Border. The Imperium Duelist has the Imperium Border Toon Festa sleeves. I always like to say Fiesta. These sleeves are the Toon sleeves. These are the last of the extra X sleeves they have. Every other version is sold out. These are on sale for $9.99. Go ahead and check it out. I have links for all this down below, by the way, with promo code to save you money. So if you're looking to get the new Field Center, once again, I got a promo code and a link down below to save you money. Go ahead and do it. Save yourself a couple of bucks. Get the newest Field Center before it's sold out. By the way, there's only 250 of them made. And one person will win an ultimate rare version of Zeus, as well as their Field Center that they purchased. So go ahead and buy it while it's still around. These things are sold out everywhere. They're hard to get. When the new one comes out, I'm going to be surprised if it sells out relatively fast as well. It's your boy V, and you paisanos, you paisanos have a great day.